Hey guys, Jerry Kinkomoto here, going to be doing some more Trials Fusion beta. This time I'm going to be looking at the Urban Sprawl chapter, which is, as the name suggests, you're basically going to be going through cities here, and most of the time city rooftops, skyscrapers, stuff like that. So we kind of had this in previous Trials games, but now it's next gen. Sorry, I had to say it that way. It looks good.
You reminded me of Hank Hill when you said it like that. Propane. Anyway.
I have nothing to say to that. I really don't. But yeah, hey, we're going through the first tutorial because you kind of have to. At first, this more or less sort of annoyed me, but the next tutorial in the next video was actually sort of needed because it was new to Trials in general. So, but hey, it's nice to have tutorials. It would be nicer if I could skip them, but this is some of the simple stuff. Like right here, basically the tutorial is telling me, hey, this is how you bunny hop, which is common sense for anyone that's been playing Trials for even just the last game. You've already figured that out, but to new players, I guess it is sort of needed, and it has to stop and be like, okay, good job, let's do it again. It's like, yeah, thanks, I know. Jeez, Mom.
Okay, then.
Okay, so we've talked about Trials enough. I feel that we should probably go on to questions. And as always, I gotta get the formalities out of the way. If you want me to answer your questions, or at least to say, if you want us to answer your questions, leave a question down below in the comments, and we'll try to answer it in a future voiceover.
Thanks for trying to cut me out.
Yeah, you're not important.
Wow.
People are only here for me. I'm awesome.
Okay, then, I'll just leave. Is that cool?
Okay, questions. What are the hardest sports? Oh, jeez. I do pretty much a little bit of everything. That's something that I don't know if people are too aware of, because I don't have much recording of me doing other things, but I feel spoiled living in a state where I can really do anything I want to. I mean, if I want to go snowboarding or whitewater rafting or surfing or going to like dunes for dune buggies and stuff like that, that's all within like an hour drive. So I've pretty much done a little bit of everything, and out of everything I've done, I have to say the hardest sport I have played is baseball. It is legitimately difficult, and man, it's some of the ignorant things people say. It's like, oh, that doesn't seem that hard. Let me see you hitting something the size of a rock going 90 miles an hour from 60 feet away. That shit, not only is that difficult, but that shit is scary. Like, if this hits you, that's going to break a bone, make you blind, or kill you. Like, it is very, very unnerving standing in front of a pitcher that might not have the best aim. Because, I mean, who trusts anyone else in that situation? And that's really why baseball is so hard. It's not physically demanding. I mean, it's not like you're not doing anything. Like, for instance, if you're in the outfield, you're constantly running the whole game, basically. But, it's mentally killing. It will kill you mentally. And that's always been a big problem with myself, more or less, is that I think too much. Like, you give me that chance to sit there just staring at the pitcher, I'm going to start thinking about stuff, and you need to just like...
Whoa. You think?
Oh, thanks. But seriously, if you give someone that opportunity to stand there in the batter's box, and you have like 20 seconds to just look at this pitcher and have all these things run through your mind, like, you need to have that shut-off switch to basically say, alright, you've been here, you know what you need to do, you've done this before, stop thinking, shut up, and just do it.
You know, the one time that I played baseball, I think it was back in like middle school, high school, something like that, I was like more or less so into the thought of hitting it and sending the ball just flying away from everybody that I wasn't worried about the fact that, hey, I'm not wearing a helmet, or hey, this could potentially kill me. I was just like, let's do this. I want to, hit a home run, even though I've done no training whatsoever. This was just during like PE, by the way. And yeah,
that would probably be the biggest difference. You were doing that in PE,
yeah,
like not in anywhere where it's really going to be competitive and people know what they're doing.
Hey! Just because it's PE doesn't mean I don't want to win.
Doesn't mean they're any good in any way whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I'll be entirely honest though. It's like, I was always the guy that did sports, and I was always that asshole in PE class that was beaming you as hard as I can with dodgeballs. I mean, people, like, they wanted me on their team, they didn't want me on the enemy team, and they disliked me if I wasn't on their team. So, people in PE were legitimately bad, but I never understood that. Okay, something about PE I don't understand. Why did people dislike PE? You're basically getting a chance to not do tests all day. You're getting a piece of that classwork out of the way, and you're getting to play dodgeball. What is bad about this?
Two things. One, I thought you were going to say... Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that part. The main thing I wanted to say here, I loved PE. Like, sure, I can, like, when they introduced the presidential fitness test, it was kind of a nightmare for me because, well, okay, I'm not the most fit person out there. I'm probably not very fit at all, actually. But back in high school, I was a lot worse. I mean, at some point in time, my mom thought, hey, I don't have to cook McDonald's as a thing. And then on top of that, I had asthma, so it's not like I could do a whole lot of moving around anyway. That's gone now, thankfully, so I'm trying, I haven't in a few days, but I'm trying to, get on the treadmill and everything. It was fun to do PE because you got to play football, or really, it was just throw it around. Or soccer, which I was no good at. Basically, I got to do something other than have my face buried in a textbook listening to someone who was speaking in just a dull enough tone to put me to sleep. Also, it's not that I am stupid or I hate class or anything. I feel like I'm fairly intelligent. Oh, ow.
Yeah, that did not end well at all. But it ended about as well as I thought it was going to.
But yeah, I enjoy learning. It's just I didn't like school back then.
You should want to learn, but at the same time, learning is suddenly not fun if the teacher isn't entertaining.
Yeah,
Which unfortunately a lot of teachers weren't. Like, I give a lot of credit to my math and my science teacher because my math teacher was hilarious. Like, if people weren't paying attention in his math class, he would walk up behind them and slap them in the back of the neck with a ruler.
I'm sorry.
I remember in one class, someone was dicking around in the back of the class, and he was basically saying, "I bet you can't hit me with a piece of chalk." And he was holding a binder in front of him, and the teacher managed to bounce it off the desk, and it landed in his mouth. So, like, there were some classes I legitimately did not mind going to, because on top of that, this teacher I'm talking about was the teacher that understood if someone doesn't want to learn, they're not going to learn, and he just let them fail, because it's just going to make a pain in the ass for the kid anyway. I mean, he's just going to continue not listening to you. Whatever, he's going to fail anyway. Let him fail.
It's not really the stance I would take, but whatever.
I mean, it's not like don't try in any way whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying. Like, he tried, but if it was obvious that they were just going to, like, sit in the back of the class and listen to music or just start playing games or basically do things that weren't learning and weren't trying and they weren't ever actually going to try, instead of, like, making them disrupt the class and trying to force them to listen, they would just let them, do their own thing.
Alright, I just thought I'd go ahead and try this. You want to try maybe one more question before you rant the rest of the video away?
Alright. Let's see. Name the first song that comes to mind and do you like it? The first song that comes to my mind instantly it's got to be Hangar 18, and do I like it? I only mentioned it because that's my favorite song.
The first song that actually popped in my head was Paralyzed by Rock Kills Kid. I don't know why. I listened to it the other day after like years of not hearing. I heard it on the radio years and years ago.
You could say Paralyzed, and that would be like 5 million other songs if you don't mention the name of the...
Yeah, which is why I said by Rock Kills Kid.
Okay, I gotta talk about Trials Fusion here a little bit. So, yeah, this is the new thing they added to Trials Fusion, and this actually does add a decent amount to the game because there's a bunch of different skill games where you can use this. The thing I like about this specifically is that it doesn't affect games. It doesn't affect the regular like time trial type games. Like, this plays no part of that in any way whatsoever. This only plays parts of like the freestyle ones or skill games and stuff like that. So you have a bunch of different things you can do. The way you do these is the right analog stick. You either push up, left, right, down, obviously, stuff like that. Random directions on the right analog stick, and you do a trick. So it's really simple the way you do it, but something that took me a little bit of a while to figure out, you will do a different trick depending on which way the bike is currently facing. And that's what took me a while to figure out. That's what I think once I started playing this skill game later on in this video, that's when I understood how this actually works. So as you see in the background there, the bike is upside down. And they're trying to tell me to do that stunt. I actually did that entirely by accident. Like, I didn't know I actually did it correctly. So it's showing the bike upside down. Just do the stunt. You know, push that direction and you've done the stunt correctly. So it's really, really simple, actually. The only time it actually gets somewhat complicated is, and this is the best stunt, by the way. There we go. Manliest trick ever.
Holy crap.
Yeah, this is where it actually gets a little bit difficult. Is because, you know, there's still momentum in this game. Your movements on your bike will affect the way the bike is spinning. So when you're doing stunts and you're doing backflips and stuff, and you want to pull yourself back to the bike, you can put yourself into a spin and not really be able to recover in time, which I have done a lot.
Wow, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, if it let me do another backflip, or if I didn't land at that lucky moment, I would have just totally ate shit. Like, it is very easy to mess up doing this. So, I mean, this is actually pretty cool. I will be honest, I'm not really a big fan of the freestyle portions, because that's not really why I buy Trials Fusion, but I like the fact that they're adding in new things to the game and they're trying to move it forward. And I guarantee, this is probably going to be some of the favorites. You know, they did it, it's fairly intuitive, it's pretty easy to figure out. I think it did the best thing you can possibly do in games. Make something easy to do, but difficult to master. Make it so it's easy to jump into, but it still has a sort of a learning curve to make you feel like, wow, I'm getting better at something. Instead of just, the game is handing me wins.
Right.
So, also I got a new bike called the Foxbat. Totally edgy.
Sorry, thinking of the fandom, that's not a good combination at all.
No, not at all. But foxes, or wolves, or dragons need to be a hybrid of everything. And that's for an entirely different rant. But yeah, this is the freestyle things where it's like, this isn't a time trial. This is just see the best score you can get. You are timed and you have limited time to do this, so you can't just like spam tricks and get the highest score ever. You have a limited time to do so. In a way, it kind of reminds me of a more linear version of SSX.
I was gonna say like Tony Hawk.
You
know, the good ones.
This is a little bit too goofy for even the Tony Hawk games.
I was gonna say, what too goofy? I mean, you could friggin' ride around as it was like a dead body with a Neversoft eye for the head.
I miss Neversoft.
Yeah.
I miss it before they went and started doing freaking Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, they help with the motion capture in Call of Duty now. That's all they do. Okay, what? They helped make, man, what was that, the old Western game that came out early 360 time?
Gun?
Yes. That was a fun game. Like, Neversoft was a good company.
I never played it, actually.
It's totally worth going back and playing it now. Like, it's legitimately a lot of fun. I can't remember what else did it. It was Tony Hawk, Gun, and I honestly cannot remember what else they did, but, you know, those games alone leave me with a good enough feeling about the company. And I remember that logo. Like, that is one of those logos that you see.
I remember it, like, clearly, just like the eyes scooting along and it looks at you and then suddenly spear through it.
Man, if you try that now, it'd probably get so much hate. Like, that would easily warrant an entire, what would usually be rated E, like the whole game rated M because of an intro.
I thought the Tony Hawk games were, like, rated T or something.
Yeah, they were. Nowadays, I think that might be a little bit different. We've gotten so much more like, oh no, we can't have any swearing or any of this. Like, people just get too upset so easily.
I hate those people. I hate censorship in general. Like, just
be glad you don't live in Germany.
What's wrong with Germany?
Their games get heavily censored. It's Germany. They've always had that problem.
I can't think off the top of my head if I have any German friends, but if I do, I feel sorry for them.
I have a few. They never get added into conversations because their English is not amazing, but I will attempt...
Holy crap, Tron!
Yeah, so this is another one of the skill games. I gotta talk about this. That meter on the left, if you go too slow or stop doing tricks, it will run out. If you go fast or do tricks like that, you see it goes back up. So you gotta basically go as far as you can. and live as long as you can. And if you slow down, that bar will go away entirely, and you will explode for no reason. You suddenly turn into Mr. Torgue for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens. Also, I don't understand why it's Tron at the moment.
Sorry. I'm getting a little into it.
That's what she said.
And this is why we can't be friends.
And explosion. I tried to do a trick last second, but hey, I still got the gold medal, so that's cool. I got that done.
I like how you're intact, but the bike just blows apart.
Well, I was doing a Superman, so I guess I just ejected myself from the bike. Self-made ejection sheet. So anyway, there's been some more Trials Fusion. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.